Hello, today I'd like to talk to you about what are you cultivating? In healthy relationships, you have two people who have individual boundaries, who think autonomously, and they have their own desires, but they want to yield some members of themselves to co-labor with somebody else in a constructive development of some idea, some concept, some life together, right? That's normal cultivation. The word cultivate really has links to a farmer, right? You acquire a piece of land and you work that land and you develop it for something that you want. Like I said, in a healthy construct, you're going to have two co-equal laborers, right? With autonomy and with boundaries. But a cultivation just becomes a cult when you have one person who contributes. They have the ultimate truths, they have the ultimate reality, and they construct the ultimate paradigm. And they are the shepherd of the flock, so to speak. They are overseeing the development, the cultivation of the participants in that group, right? That's what a cult is. And that, I tell you, is the same thing that happens in a narcissistic, psychopathic relationship when they have their anxiously attached individuals as their subordinates. And this is easy to see because it dates clear back to the Garden of Eden. The very first creation of a cult was the enemy when he was speaking to Adam and Eve. You had God come along and God said, "This is my world. I've created it. Here are your boundaries." You have the boundaries were created. They had the Garden of Eden. They couldn't get in and out of the Garden of Eden. They were given tasks to take care of the garden. Eve was given to kind of help Eve in that garden, but there was a clear boundary of the tree of good and evil. But the enemy came along and created another cult, and he created a cult. He came along and he said, "This system doesn't work. We know that God is withholding something good. That's why He's not giving you this tree of knowledge of good and evil. So follow me. Listen to what I have to say. Listen to what I have to say. I have the ultimate truth. I am the new standard of measure for truth. Listen to what I tell you and do as I tell you. And then you'll be good. Then you'll have something good. Then we would have created the nirvana, the extreme paradise, all of these things." That is the first offering that the enemy gave, and that was the first cult order, right? And so throughout time, that has been on display in many various ways. And that's essentially what false religions do, what we call cults. They claim that they're connected to the Bible or Jesus or something in some kind of way. But they say, we have this extra information. This is how I've always counseled people on false religions. They will come along and say, sure, the Bible is good, but we have this new prophet, we have this new priest, we have this new trickster in town, and you have to listen to what he or she says because their new revelation is the hottest thing off the press. This is what God's saying today. So listen to this information, take this new bit of truth, and then move and have your being, let it construct your environment based on this new information, right? Now they are your God. They are the shepherd of your soul. They are overseeing. And it is your job to just listen to them and become compliant on whatever it is that they're telling you to do. I tell you, that same scheme is just being done on a smaller scale when it comes to your narcissistic psychopathic controller. It's absolutely the same thing. He or she comes along and says, this is our truth, right? He gaslights you. He lies to you. He first initially comes along, and this is the hook of any true cult. They show that they care. I care about you. I'm kind. I'm a kind person, and I care. And that's what the enemy showed Adam and Eve. I'm kind. Hi, how are you? You know, isn't it a nice day here in the garden? Oh, look at this lovely fruit to look at, right? Kind. He was helping them. He wanted to help them obtain a greater good, right? He was kind and he's helpful. So that's what the narcissistic psychopathic person does, and the cult leader. They come along and they're kind, right? The devil is an imposter of light. He never comes along and says, I'm the devil, I came to kill, steal, and destroy your life. Do you want to participate in this program? Most people would say no, right? So he has to come along and act like he's your friend, and act like he's going to help you. I'm here for you to become all that you have wanted to be. I'm here to cultivate something with you, right? And so that's the hook. And then what happens is, right, you have to eat my truth. This is my paradigm, this is my reality, and you as an individual who live in the land, and you live in reality, and you see what this cult leader is doing, and you try to call them out on it, you try to question things. This is where their information, this is where their truth, this is where the new agenda comes. No, don't look at that real reality. No, that's faulty. We can't trust your mind. We can't trust your thinking. Remember, you're the one who came to me as the subordinate because you don't trust your own mind. You don't even like yourself. You don't even trust your own reality, your own thought processes. You're the one that wants to be controlled and dominated. So why are you coming to me telling me about what reality is? No. Subject yourself to me. Bad behavior. No. Bad behavior. You know, beat the dog, getting back down into submission. Listen to what I have to say. I have the truth. I have the reality. That's the gaslighting, right? And the anxiously attached person, the codependent, you know, is like, yeah, that's right, I don't trust myself. Yeah, that's right, this person is my demigod. That person is the way for me to become all that I need to become. Look, this person's been kind to me. There's nobody else has been kind to me in my whole life. Everybody else has just been abusive, and this person's actually kind. This person actually wants to help me. Everybody else in my life just used to beat me down, right? They used to tell me how stupid I was, and how ugly I am, and how I'll never amount to anything. This new cult leader, they're really awesome. They're here to help me. Oh, praise God. Thank God that God brought this person into my life, because this person's gonna, you know, set me free and help me become who I'm supposed to become, and all these things, right? But no, this is just in the early love bombing phases of another cult leader, right? The codependent is basically a cult hopper. There is such a thing, you know, that people go out and hop from one crazy cult to the next. That's essentially what a codependent does. They in the dating world, they're out on dating apps looking for their next cult leader, right? I mean, let's look at the truth, kids. What's really going on? The only way to be set free is to look at the truth. The closer you can get to the truth, I tell people, is the more you'll be set free. So that's essentially what's happening, right? Because the narcissist, psychopath, sets the reality. You know, you can't trust your reality. You've never been successful at this. You know, they'll throw up everything you've ever told them. That's what they do. They collect information about you, appearing to love you and care and be sympathetic. No, they're just collecting data. They're getting those data points so that they can use against you one day, right? To subordinate you. So then this is how they then get you to control the environment so that you comply with them. They give you the new set of reality. They give you the new set of truth, that they're awesome and that you're the problem. That is essentially what the messaging is going to be, is that they are a god in some capacity. Some people actually say that they're gods, but most narcissists aren't going to do that, but they're going to do it in a covert way. They're going to play that role, essentially. They might not tell you directly that they're your God, but they'll tell you that, you know, you're nothing without them. You'll never make it. Nobody will love you like them. Nobody will take care of you like them, right? That's a God role. Okay, God created us to take care of us, to help us to become who we're supposed to become, and help us to get to where we're supposed to get in life, right? So they're going to play that role and tell you all of those things, and they're going to expect your compliance. They're going to expect your behavior for you to capitulate, and anytime you deviate off of that capitulation, there's going to be hell to pay, essentially, right? You're going to be reprimanded. There's things that are going to be thrown into your face, right? And what is happening in that situation is it's actually abuse, abandonment, neglect. It's all of these horrendous things, because this cult leader is not there for your good. He came to kill, steal, and destroy, because his father is the devil, who is, that's all his agenda is. Like I said, this goes way back to the Garden of Eden, okay? And normally in a lot of these situations, because these narcissistic psychopaths are so shut down to their own emotions, okay, because they were never loved. That's what their mother did to them. Their mother controlled and manipulated them, essentially, right? She used gaslighting on them. It was a fear-based system. This kid was afraid of his own mother, his own caregiver, right? And so he learned that in order to get through life, you have to control and you have to dominate. And it was so scary and terrifying to have my mother control me, that I'll never be controlled again. And so for them to be vulnerable to you, that's allowing you to have control over them. You have access to destroying them, and they're not going to let that happen, okay? And so that's why they've got to control the heck out of you, right? And so they're creating that reality for you now. But what they're doing is, because they're so emotionally shut off, they're not in this for you. They're in this for themselves. They need to get back to a place, well, they've never been there, so it's not rehabilitation, it's habilitation. They're trying to control their situation and get all of their needs met, their needs that were never met, right, from their childhood. And at this point, what has happened is they've entered into their own fantasy land, and that's where they're trying to get you. And a lot of what they're doing, right, is perverse, because in this fantasy land, they've become, sexualized, essentially. We've become adults. We're no longer children, and so we have our own wishes, our own desires, things of this nature. And so they've really yielded. A lot of these narcissistic psychopaths are in some type of sexual perversion, whatever their bent is, and they're trying to live that out. And you might just be a cover, like somebody who is really interested in little ones, children. They might just have you as a partner so that they look normal and healthy in the church, so that they look normal and healthy around mothers and women, and you're the bait that, like, oh, let's go see little Susie Q. She really likes you, and the mother really likes you, and it's putting it all on you, right? That you're the anchor to these people, and they really don't want to see little Susie Q. It's you, right? This is all about you. I'm here helping you get to Susie Q. But you really don't care about Susie Q. You don't even like Susie Q, because Susie Q's been jealous of you since you got on the scene, because of the love bombing that this person is doing to Susie Q, right? So there's some gaslighting going on there. So that might be one of the perversions that you're experiencing, right? Or the perversion might be, well, let's go see these crit races because, you really like to see them. And I told my friend, like, oh, hey, Heather's really mad at me because we didn't get to go see these crit races. Meanwhile, Heather didn't want to go see the crit race because Heather knew that this person was just going to need to fill their lust desire because they were really pursuing somebody else type thing. So there can be a lot of perversion involved in this, and they're just using control and manipulation to get you there to be a decoy for the game that they're actually running, right? And that's the reality that you're bucking up against and saying, oh my gosh, no, I thought you loved me, I thought whatever, right? And so there you're in that trauma bond now, because they have shown you love, you believe that love, because how do you start a cult? You are kind and you offer help, right? That's what the enemy did. He was kind to Adam and Eve, and he offered them his help. And then what they had to do was they had to believe him and then follow him. And that was the fall of mankind. And they fell right into his trap, which was to kill, steal, and destroy them. And that same scheme is this exact same scheme that cults are running today and these narcissistic abusers are using against you. So I hope this is helpful. God bless you. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.